So you propose that in spite of demonstrable infidelity on your part, your unoffending wife should be tossed out on her ear. Is that possible? It's a challenge.
Roll, please. Background action.
And action. The project's probably been in the works about at least 8 years. We originally did it as a writing job for Universal.
It seemed forever, and what had happened is I got their very first draft on the script and loved it. I just thought it's exactly what's going on in America right now.
I saw an ad in the paper, no-fault divorce. 2-week divorce without a lawyer. Made me sick to my stomach.
And then it came back to us.
Eventually, they relented. They said, okay, we would direct it. It wasn't really intended for us to direct. It might be too commercial for us. I said, well, that's the good news.
It was sort of the combination of doing this with George that got us interested in directing it ourselves.
I thought that seemed like a really fun thing to do, and certainly with these guys, it was the way to do it. So I thought it was a great opportunity. But madam, who is the real victim here?
And I told the Coen brothers about Catherine, and they immediately jumped on that page, and she was eager to work with them, and it just came together.
They're so good with people. They're so good with characters, the way they write, they form a character right through. So it becomes easy to read it off the page because it's kind of there in black and white. I could have you just part of
It was worth it.
Well, I think what makes it mainstream is you have the mainstream movie stars that you're dying to see get together, these two fabulous movie stars. But it seems just the Coens, what they do to it is they add their irreverence into it, and they make it so hard to know or predict how that will ever happen. But the commercial part of it is that they do get together. It's just sort of a function of how they get together.
Well, it's a flat-out comedy about divorce lawyers in marriage, which is really the subject of most of the sort of great screwball comedies.
My client is still prepared to consider reconciliation.
It's a staple of comedies, you know, the hard-hearted woman, soft-headed man, and Clooney is definitely the soft-headed man, and Catherine's the hard-hearted woman.
But no more sentiment, darling.
It's a pleasure to see someone like George, you know, execute a Danny Thomas.
What are you after, Freddie?
The set was just electric with anticipation the day we knew that George was going to be doing his Danny Thomas, and he did it beautifully.
50% of the marital assets.
It's been an opportunity for us to work with actors that we hadn't worked with before, Catherine included, and that's actually been one of the pleasures of doing the movie.
And truly, Joel and Ethan are brilliant at so many things, particularly understanding the fine art of casting, because I think the chemistry between George and Catherine couldn't be more perfect.
You fascinate me. Catherine Zeta-Jones is stunning. She lights up a room. She can be one of the boys and hang out with everybody. She is a leading lady.
Hello, darlings.
So, you and Rex are...
Well, as my private investigator tells me, we're gonna nail his death.
She's very focused and serious, but she's really very lovely and very casual and easy to talk to.
And she's absolutely hilarious. She's charming.
I didn't expect the most beautiful woman I'd ever met.
I think if there's anybody that can match Clooney in terms of smoothness and looks and charm, she's the one for the job.
The chemistry between me and George, I think, worked from the beginning. I think it was just because, well, you can't make that chemistry happen, but I think just the easy work environment and the kind of casualness of our characters off screen, I think it makes for good on-screen chemistry and relationship.
Ladies, you'll excuse us. We have to talk. Do you like gladiator films?
Although in this movie, George's character is more concerned with how his teeth look.
Oh yeah, he's all about his teeth. So he's always getting his teeth cleaned. Hey, it's me. Any messages? Miles is sort of coming to this crossroads in his life where he's only served divorce.
Good God, Miles, what are you looking for?
I don't know. Suddenly he's falling in love and things are changing and his world is changing.
I just love working with George. I've wanted to work with him for a long time. In the back of my mind, I had the image of George playing Miles. He brings a fantastic energy. He brings a smartness, a suave attitude that is completely irresistible.
George has a really amazing sense of humor. That's one of the things I like about him personally.
He's really great at the slapstick stuff. And we've been doing a few of those scenes where we really get to do the kind of physical comedy, and the guy's timing is just impeccable.
The casting was different in the respect that in almost every other movie we've ever done, we've written for particular, at least some of the parts, for particular actors. Well, the Howard Doyle character is a loud, ignorant, rich Texan. I guess that's the best way to describe him.
Now, I myself went to Texas A&M, Mom and Aggie.
Business?
Tight end.
You know, he's playing the supporting character, but it's kind of an indelible character.
Miles, that's this will be a small operation, a boutique.
Let me tell you what they... If you were to look at those old screwball comedies, he's sort of playing the Ralph Bellamy part.
Howard?
Can see the mechanical marvel.
I have no prenup.
My character is Donovan Donnelly. Sleazebag, daytime television soap producer.
That's my bloody Jack! You bitch!
One of the best experiences I've ever had in making films. It was with Jeffrey.
Mr. Donnelly, excuse me. You are Donovan Donnelly?
I'm in a meeting.
And it was a lot of fun.
God damn it, I'm Gus Pitch.
Cedric the Entertainer, who plays Gus Pitch. Somehow only Cedric could have played it.
I kind of made him a little ex-military, but never really in the military, maybe more like merchant marines, but he takes it really serious. This guy probably was a general in the Salvation Army.
So I see.
Gym 4 times a week, hour and a half plus stretching. Life cycle, life step, life circuit.
I'm in the middle there trying to help each person get information on the other person.
And those Rottweilers were a menace, man.
I told you she had dogs.
You ain't tell me they had a hard-on for Anus Africanus? I see ass. I nip it.
My ass nip.
I didn't know Dimitri had a beach house.
Neither did I until my lawyer found it. She marries rich men, and she gets lots of money in the settlements, and this is what she does.
They left you with nothing. Makes you wonder about the entire legal system. Like Rodney, what's his name?
So she sits alone in her 46-room mansion.
Oh!
What is it?
With her ulcer.
I have medication, but I can't take it before elective surgery.
And she has absolutely no happiness at all in her life.
You could see people.
I'm telling you, honey, getting laid is financial Russian roulette.
Rex Rexroth is an eternal optimist.
Ed's doing great. The majority of the work he does in this movie is with very scantily clad, buxom young women.
And filming it was kind of an exercise because you're bouncing up and down. It's not quite like a trampoline. These are mattresses. And the girls are right next to you bouncing, bouncing, bouncing.
I'm working on the railroad.
So he's been having a good time.
He's adorable, and he's an idiot.
I'm not sick! You're the one who's sick!
When we need a lawyer, we usually call on Richard Jenkins.
He doesn't seem to be as good as he thinks he is.
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds?
Poetry recitation. At every turn, he's outgunned, and it just aggravates him.
The way he plays Freddy is this kind of neurotic, I could break at any moment kind of quality.
Freddy! Freddy!
Best way to describe Wrigley is he takes his job very seriously. He's very good at what he does.
My client is prepared to consider a reconciliation.
Paul Adelstein was the end of our great talent search for Wrigley, George Clooney's sidekick.
Rex Rexroth, you kept everything, you win, no compromise? Isn't that what you wanted?
Wrigley completely worships the ground that Miles walks on. Everything that he has is kind of a knockoff of what Miles has.
I'm not sure that I actually follow.
He's very, very far from being like Miles. And he just can't help crying hysterically at every wedding he goes to because he's such a softie on the inside.
Cut.
At the cut.
Filmmakers usually have a period of time that they are performing at their best. They somehow have managed to transcend all of that, and they keep making interesting films.
Cheesy bastard!
I always thought it would be difficult working with two directors because I figured they had to argue somewhere along the way or disagree or give you two completely opposite notes. But they don't. They work in perfect unison.
To me, Joel and Ethan are the coolest, purest filmmakers in modern movies. For being so enormously talented, they're equally humble and unpretentious.
Well, I think with all the Coen brothers movies, they're always entertaining, they're always funny, there's always some edge to them.
They concentrate entirely on the work. They don't argue with each other. They have the same sort of sensibility about a scene. They shoot exactly what they need, and then you go home.
There's going to be fighting through a crowd here. There's a lot of people milling around.
It makes you as an actor completely clear about what the work is at hand that day.
And totally open to have fun and screw around.
They're great, and they stick their neck way out and they try wild things.
Rise up early in the mood.
This is gonna take
A lot of their films, it's out there, it's big, everything is exaggerated and funny.
She wanted to know the businesses and the wealth. The wealth. Can I say this? Wealth.
It's never, oh, okay, this is a regular scene. How can we make it a Coen Brothers quirky or the Coen Brothers this way? It's never like that. It's just kind of comes as it comes. There's a darkness to it. There's a romp to it.
Darling, you're exposed.
Sitting duck. But I hope people just enjoy it and have fun with it.
I love you, man.
And then go home and look at their marriage.
The most romantic thing I've ever seen in my life. Brilliant.
Now, sir, tell me your trouble.
Hello, darlings. Where are you?
Coming at you.
Like a lot of screwball comedies, it's about rich people, so not just in terms of the photography, but in terms of the set dressing and wardrobe, it's more of a glam thing than certainly we've ever done before.
Right.
Oh, it's always funny, you know, to suddenly be dressed up in nice, expensive suits. It makes it a lot easier to become kind of this pompous idiot.
I had a guy break into her house and photograph her address book.
No, Wrigley. I happened to let a man know that I was interested in her address book.
Mary is someone we work with over and over and over again. Mary Hofer is the costume designer.
Something that was very clear from the very beginning is that George's character is classic. My inspiration for him was Cary Grant in Indiscreet.
Partnerships and would like to schedule an appointment.
Same sex.
Arthur Yardumian and his tax attorney want to reschedule their caucus for tomorrow. Arthur had to fly to
Yardumian.
Atlanta for a deadbeat dad hearing.
Atlanta?
And your 10:30 is here, Rex Roth.
George wears a suit that's almost identical in cut to the one that Cary Grant wore in Indiscreet. It's a 3-button rolled to a 2. And it's, you know, we were very much in agreement that he's conservatively dressed, but with a great amount of taste and style, but it's understated.
And speaking of wardrobe not drawing attention to itself, Mary also managed to put George Clooney in a kilt.
And you're renting kilts.
Well, this movie, I think, is more, I mean, certainly has a more mainstream look than any of the other movies that I've done for them.
What's been really great in this movie and interesting in terms of what Mary has done is the clothes sort of tell a whole story in this movie in terms of tracking the different outfits that Catherine wears through the whole thing, because they're all They're all great, and they all say something, and they're all fun.
This is going to be my passport to wealth, independence, and freedom. I am so happy with the look that they created with Marilyn. And Mary, our costume designer, sent me over a big old package of her designs, sketches, ripped out things from magazines, of accessories, and I just like, oh, I'm in heaven here.
In today's cynical world, it's so hard to take that great leap of faith aboard the ship of love and caring.
Her wedding dress had to be a classic wedding dress, but it was not necessarily what Marilyn Rexroth, her character, would wear to her wedding if she was really getting married for real.
Don't listen up.
Those are for you, darling.
I don't think her character would have worn that dress in a million years. Not a million years. And what we see her get married in at the Weekirk O'Heather, which is the Vegas wedding, that's more along the keeping of what she would wear to a wedding. Maybe a longer version of it, but it was it was a lovely classic wedding dress, but I just don't think that Marilyn Rexroth would necessarily get married if she was getting married for real in that dress. What's fun for me from a design point of view is you come up with this concept, you sketch it out, then we had to go get it beaded and to the samples of the beading, and then it was in a form, and then to finally see it in the form of a dress, I had an aerobic heart rate. You know, I didn't want them wearing bathing suits by the pool for some reason. I just thought it was much more glamorous and much more old Hollywood if they were in some sort of lounging gown. And so the idea being that this is like après. They've been for a swim and she just threw this on afterwards. One of the things that was important that Joel and Ethan and I talked about for Catherine was that we want the audience to look forward to her next wardrobe change. And that's pretty important. Without being like ridiculous or ostentatious, you just kind of want to go, oh, what's she going to wear next?
And now she's single again. Excuse me.
Good. Have to cut.